So I'm here and I just came out with the funkiest idea. So the idea is, what if how society now is like, you have to be, oh, that's not how I started, sorry. I was sitting here wondering how many brain cells I have lost since I started making questionable choices in my life. I mean, we all make questionable choices in our life, but you know, I mean, like things that would reduce your brain cells. Like, for instance, like huffing glue. I don't huff glue. I just wanted to think of something to say. That was an example. Another example would be marijuana. Shit. Where was I going with this? Okay. So, what if you had to go in and you had to have doctors like measure your level of brain cells that you have, and then people who are like addicts to something, they could take them in and go, look, this is when you got tested with your brain cells to see how many you have before you started snorting bath salts, and this is your brain cells post bath salts. It would completely change the outlook of society. And this is gonna sound real crazy, so I was gonna explain before I get to this. My body. Anyway, it eventually leads up to, this is how the Holocaust happened. I was thinking maybe it'd be better if we had our brain cells tested and it would become a thing. Like, I'm sure job opportunities would start to say, you have to have at least this many brain cells to work at this job. That would make people want to be smarter, and it would probably become like a hierarchy thing, like how now we have this falsified image of beauty where girls are like, they want to be skinnier, and the skinnier the better. It would become like the smarter the better, you know? And like people would start, instead of taking diet pills, they'd take like I don't know, smart pills. I'm sure something would open on the market that would be like, you know. And first I was like, well, maybe that's better because you'd want to be smarter. And then I thought about how we have so many things going on in our world, like pollution and the energy crisis, with so many smart people, and everyone would want to be smart. Drinking and drugs would stop altogether, I bet, and bath salt snorting. Okay, is that really a thing? I really want to know, is that really a thing?
Yeah, it's a thing.
Do people actually do that?
Yeah.
Anyway. Fuck. Eventually we'd all be smart, and we'd be able to fix all the problems in our world. And then I started to think, oh no, this might get racist. Okay, so in Japan, there's such a high suicide rate that some places of Japan have like nets around the buildings for suicide jumpers to fall into. I thought, well, maybe that's like survival of the fittest and it should just happen. And then I was like, Shelby, don't think that. And then I realized, what if that becomes a thing? Like, we'll become this superhuman race of smart people because we'll have let all the really, you see, the reason they might be driven to suicide. There are people who are like, don't think they're pretty enough, so they kill themselves. The pressure of being smart, having to be smart, having to be the absolute smartest, which is kind of theology that is taken in the social cultures of Japan. It would end up like that. And people would be so stressed that they would kill themselves. And then for population control, maybe the really superhuman smart people would have lost all of their emotional capacity to think other than what is logical. And it's not necessarily, I'm not saying that like letting people kill themselves is logical. That's terrible. It's terrible. I'm just saying, what if they thought that it's better, it's survival of the fittest. And I realized this is how Hitler started. I mean, like the superior race, the Aryan race. What if because of the stupid idea I had just now, it might end up like that, but instead of being, sorry, I'm supposed to be quiet, these walls are really thin. Instead of it being like the Aryan race, it's like the smart race. And what if that becomes a major thing? So, I can't ever let this idea get out because I feel like people would want it to happen because it's a really good idea at first when you think about smarts being the emphasis rather than superficial views of beauty. But now I can't ever let this get out because it would be like another Holocaust. You're beautiful the way you are. You're smart enough the way you are. Don't let anyone tell you different. Thank you for your time.